YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. This is going to be a very quick, news check-in for the current state of the Power Rangers franchise. The other day, there was a question asked of Hasbro's, I believe it was the CEO or president, somebody in charge. It was the assistant to the regional manager about if they had plans for Power Rangers, and they said that they had big plans ahead for many franchises, including Power Rangers. I don't remember if they said big plans, but they have plans ahead. And that got the fandom all excited because they're desperate for crumbs because they've never experienced a franchise drought before, apparently. That Power Rangers isn't dead and that something is happening. And we kind of all knew that. Like, two things about that. I think it's funny that, of course, we're in a very quiet period. There's, like, no official Hasbro main toys coming out. We do have the Playmates toys on the horizon, and we have a bunch of third-party stuff. And then we have the comic, which is ongoing. We have multiple different offshoots. I just reviewed the Usagi crossover. The main comic is continuing with Power Rangers Prime. So it is still alive, and it's just interesting that just because the main show is off, much of the fandom just considers it dead. I mean, yes, it's a quiet period, guys, but just touch grass, like there's, I don't know. Anyway, I just think that's kind of funny because it's not like they shut down everything. Like, it could have been much worse. We could have shut down the comic. We could only be getting, like, the random Fig Zero releases and stuff like that. But also, I didn't think this was news, just because I assumed that's where we were. Like, when we had the announcement that the Netflix thing fell through, we had Jinsaku talking about the rumors of they wanted to do, like, an mmpr reboot, and that's what they pitched to Netflix, and that's what they passed on. We don't know if that's true or not, but we do know that they passed. Well, we do know they passed, but we do know that they pitched something else to Netflix that they passed on. And maybe I'm just misremembering it, but I feel like at least one of the articles that came out when we got the news about the Netflix thing being canceled, that they were shopping around and looking to do what was next. So I think that this just confirms we're in the same place, which is what I thought. I just want to talk about that because people thought that this was new, like, oh, they decided to bring it back. And some people thought it was because PR was trending a couple times because someone made a tweet that was like, Power Rangers is lame. And then everyone's like, no, it's not. And then it trended. And they're like, oh, they listened to the fans. I don't think that's what happened at all. I think that we're in the same place we were at. I think that they're just kind of working on it in the background, but it's low priority. I think that it's like one of those things where they're probably shopping around. I don't know if they're workshopping their plans that they pitched or if they're keeping whatever their plan was, but I think that they're kind of like running it in the background of like, we need to find out what we're gonna do, where we're gonna put it, but it's not like a priority. Like, I assume they're working on it, but it's like a D-level priority or something. It's not like they're like, hey, we need to make this happen now. It's kind of like, if it happens. I do think it'll be back. I think it'll be back under Hasbro in some form. I'll be really curious to see what it is. I don't know if we'll ever know if what they pitched to Hasbro, what they pitched to themselves, that's their problem. They keep pitching to themselves. I'm like, you need to take this outside. I don't think we'll ever know if what they pitched to Netflix is like what we'll end up getting, or if they change it, because rumors and stuff are always, I don't think I would want the mmpr reimagining in terms of like the live action thing. I'm open to anything. Who knows? They could do an mmpr reboot that's 10 episodes and it could blow our balls off. But that's not necessarily what I would like to see. I think that would be the wrong play. I'm one of the few that's in support of them using MMPR's popularity because I know that it's one of the only iconic images they have. But I think doing like a reboot in the style of the old show with the cheapness would not be the way to go. If you're gonna do that, if you want to do the live action style with the old style of production, I would springboard off Once and Always. Like, if you have to do that, I think that would be smarter than just starting cold with reimagined versions of like Trini, Zach, Billy, and all that stuff. Like, use the fact that you actually have those actors from Once and Always to bring in the nostalgia. Again, that isn't necessarily what I would like either, but it's not about me. I never listen to the fans. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna do that, I think it would be smarter to just springboard off Once and Always and then do like a next-gen thing and then have Min recruiting a new generation of heroes. I think that would just make more sense, and Once and Always is recent enough that, I don't know, it just makes more sense. Like, if you're going to do that style, it'd be a different story if this was like years down the road and all the older actors are like way too old to reprise their roles or dead. But it's like, you already had this thing that was like, in the realm of Power Rangers, quasi-successful. I think that would be the way to go. I would much rather see an animated series or whatever, like, reboot they would do, like 2017 style, like related. People always say, but 2017 failed, but just in the style, like a reboot. I'd rather see a reboot, modern reboot, or an animated series. But if you gotta do an MMPR thing, just springboard off Once and Always. And who knows, maybe they're bringing back adaptions. I'm not gonna be opposed to it. I would maybe even enjoy if they brought back adaptions. Like, they could bring back adaptions and do it Disney era style and I'd probably love it. But I'm still in favor of us at least exploring beyond that. Even if it's only for a couple years, or if it doesn't work out, let's at least give it a try. I'm still in favor of that, but who knows, maybe we could go back to adaptions. And I just do find it funny that they had this whole thing running like clockwork and they just shut it all down just to abandon their other plans. It just reminds me of that quote in Breaking Bad where he's like, "We ran like clockwork, we had Fring, and you blew it all up." You know, again, I'm in favor of them moving past it, but if they would have known they were just gonna go back to even pitching basically an MMPR reboot with that same style, it's like, why did you shut it down? You had a perfectly good thing going like clockwork. Like, that was one of the things I actually thought was kind of smart about the beginning of the Hasbro era, is they had the machine running. You could have just let it run while you perfected it. Like, it was almost the perfect system because, to my knowledge, Power Rangers wasn't losing money if it was continuing as it was from Samurai through present. And I think that would have been perfect if they actually, you know, cared more about making it happen, to just let it run as is for however long they needed and just really fine-tune their plans. Like, write the perfect script for a show and then you throw the other stuff away. But I don't know. Anyways, guys, so right now we know that Power Rangers isn't fully dead. I mean, in general, we're in a very dormant period that's normal for other franchises if you follow those, and there is still other things like the comics and merchandise happening. But there is going to be something on the horizon at some point. But who knows, remains to be seen. I'm going to imagine within the next 5 years, but who knows? What do you guys think? When do you think PR will come back? How do you think it'll come back? And how do you want it to come back? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.